And I invite you to and introduce you to the first ever science stand-up. Yeah, come on. Let's get a really big. Ooh. It's going to be a good night, isn't it? We've got a great show for you tonight. We've got 11 performers, all from the University of Bath, except one, which is our first up tonight. So without any more boring words from me, I'm going to introduce to you Dominika Bijos.
Hi guys. So I recently gave a talk in Cambridge and I was the only person not from Cambridge. That was the funniest thing about me. Then a friend of mine wrote a poem for me for tonight, so I'm going to start with that. Hi, my name is Dee. I talk about we, and tonight in Bath, I'm going to make you laugh. Yay. I got the rhyming, I might not get anything else right tonight, but the story I want to tell you about, I don't know if you've seen the brief, but the brief for my talk is that it's going to be a love story. And indeed, there is a love story and it had a happy ending, and if you can't see, I'm expecting. So there really is a happy ending. Now, the guy I fell in love with is called Dr. Theodore P. I abbreviate his name really. It's more cute, it's more sweet, and it also reflects the nature of our relationship. So really, it's always a cup of tea, P, TP, Theodore P. So he and I engaged in this love of science project, and I get such a huge, out of science, I get a pretty huge kick. And I also get a pretty huge dissertation. Dissertation at the postgraduate level is called a thesis. Now, my dad also wrote a thesis. It was a pretty shitty one. And I mean it literally. He was looking at how poop looks inside the babies when you look at it through ultrasound. Pretty cool. But if you think about it, a shitty thesis is just feces, right? So that's my dad, and he's a PhD. I'm really a urine girl. And I decided to devote my entire academic career to all things urine. In order to do that, I needed to get to school, get to uni, get pregnant, and when I get pregnant, I mean with your thesis, with your project, with your beautiful next baby. And indeed, PhD journey was very much like pregnancy. You start excited, you think it's going to be great, and you have such high expectations and hopes that it's going to be great, and then you do start your PhD and you really want to vomit. There's nothing really cool about it. You become completely moody. This monster that grows in your life is really doing everything to you. I mean, if you're happy, that's because you saw this tiny little band somewhere in the little piece of your equipment, and that's going to change the world? No, because obviously the next day you can't reproduce it, and nobody's going to believe your data, so you get completely depressed, and people around you don't understand you anymore. And when you grow bigger and bigger, and things really start going down for you, everybody suddenly starts asking, so how's the writing up going on? And it's not going well. It never is. But, pregnancies, PhDs, they all come to an end, right? So I defended my 50 figures, my 40,000 words, my 3 years of blood, sweat, tears, and urine, 200 pages, and all I got at the end of it was one title. Because it was all things urine, it was a real P PeehD, but it is really just one title, and since I got it, I didn't really use it, except for once in the bank. You see how I look like, and there was this lady in the bank, and she looked at me judgingly, knowing perfectly well that I am not married, yet expecting, and she asked me, "Is it Miss or Mrs.?" And I was, "It's Doctor." Okay, so I'm a doctor. 3 years, and the happy baby that I get is the love of my life, Mr. Bladder. Bladder, I hold your pee. And it's not just any bladder, it's a happy bladder. Look at him, isn't he pretty? So these two hands are the ureters. And the bladder sits in your tummy, and the ureters come from your kidneys and push the urine down from the kidneys through the ureters to the bladder. But you see that they're not really very, very big. The hole in the ureter is quite small. That's why the kidney stones hurt so much, because when they need to squeeze through the ureter, it really, really hurts. And this squeezing process, as the urine comes down from the kidney to your bladder, is a little bit like a salsa body roll, you know? The urine just comes down and down until it gets to the bladder. That's why the bladder is happy. Have you seen the beautiful sunny yellow color that he is? I mean, yellow is good for urine, okay? And I'm pretty sure that all of you have your own dirty secret, a catalog of your own personal 50 shades of yellow. If it is amber color or orange color, maybe honey, that just means that you are slightly dehydrated. So drink up, drink up. If it's red, red is not a good sign. You have two options. First, go and see a doctor. Second, just stop eating that much beetroot. So when we're at vegetables, have you ever eaten asparagus? Yeah, maybe there's some chemists here. Asparagus contains mercaptan, which gets, within 15 minutes of you eating asparagus, gets digested to compounds that are going to be volatile, so they're going to be in air that you can easily smell, and using toilet after you will be noticeable to the environment. Now you're going to think, no, I can eat as much asparagus as I want, it doesn't concern me. Now, maybe you don't feel it, I believe you, but you do produce the smell. Because the gene responsible that makes you feel or not feel the smell is not about you producing it, but you sensing it. So that's why, for me, I'm particularly sensitive. I just don't enjoy a company of people that ate asparagus. It happened once at the conference. Everybody got asparagus. I went a little bit crazy. But anyway, let's go back to my bladder. So the ureters, the beautiful yellow color, and the very important, the urethra. Urethra starts at the base of the bladder, and this is how we urinate. Did you know that female urethra is 2.5 times shorter than a male urethra? Why? Because men have a penis. Penis is an amazing tool for aiming, right? I didn't have the pleasure, but it's really good that you guys have a penis, because not having a penis and having a short urethra means that we ladies are very susceptible to urinary tract infections, and that's not very nice. It is very painful. So the best way to prevent urinary tract infections is to prevent those unwanted bacteria to get anywhere near our urethra. Now, it happens quite often after passionate sexual encounters. So, ladies and gentlemen, the best way to prevent urinary tract infections is with warm, sterile flow of urine. No cuddling after sex, just go and pee. Okay, so we've talked about the bladder, we've talked about expectations and peeing. One of the possible outcomes of sex is pregnancy, and I would like you to remember not to ever make fun of pregnant ladies, because if you imagine that you have a bag full of urine inside you and another human being just punching it, you would want to pee all the time as well. So don't make fun of them. As we're all sitting here and enjoying a pint, I hope that I have convinced you that the bladder is an issue for everybody. It's not only the pregnant ladies and the kids that wet themselves. That's probably because their dad did that. There's genetic heritability there. So talk to your dad and talk to your granddad. They probably know what you're going through if you're that stage. And be understandable to your son as well, guys. I mean, I can't give it to my son, but you can. So this affects all of us, because as long as we all need to drink, we all need to pee. And one of the reasons why I was invited to be here, and I'm not from Bath, was my interpretive dance of the to pee or not to pee. And Matt, who's in the audience, thought that my interpretive dancing was pretty cool when I said that 1 in 4 older adults in the UK do the to pee or not to pee dance. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I told you about salsa body rolls, and I told you about interpretive dancing, and now I'm going to try to do this trick. And now I'm going to say that I really need to go now. Okay, guys, I'm sorry I was first. If you really need to go, that's okay. I'm going to be counting how many of you leave, having stimulated your brain to think you really need to go. You have an hour, by the way. You have an hour from now until you really, really are bursting and you need to go. You have an hour, so enjoy the rest of your talks. Thanks, guys.
All right, give it up one more time for Dominika. And just by show of hands, how many people actually really need to wee right now?